All right, so today, let's look into something a bit different. Planning a trip to Cyprus.
Okay.
Like imagine you're there, right, and you're soaking up that sun on like those amazing beaches,
Right.
exploring the ruins, those ancient ruins,
Yeah.
wandering through like charming villages.
Uh-huh.
It sounds pretty idyllic, right?
It does.
But then comes the part that I think a lot of people dread booking the rental car.
Yeah.
Deposits and the insurance and worrying about hidden fees. All of a sudden, you don't feel so relaxed about your vacation anymore.
It's true. All those like practical details, it can really like take the fun out of planning a trip.
Right.
Especially if you're, on a budget.
Exactly. And that's kind of where today's deep dive comes in.
Okay.
We are going to explore a company called PKA Car Rentals.
Okay.
They are in Cyprus, and they were recommended to us by Lil Kangoo Media.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they claim to offer a stress-free car rental experience.
That's right.
So could this be the key to unlocking a smoother, more enjoyable Cyprus adventure for you? Let's find out. So first things first, what really stood out to you when you first took a look at their website?
Well, for me, it was that no deposit needed. It's like plastered everywhere.
It is.
That's a pretty big statement to make in the world of car rentals.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it is.
It's a real game changer for travelers.
Right.
When you think about it, no upfront cost, that means more flexibility with your budget.
Yeah.
Potentially more money to actually enjoy your trip.
Exactly. Imagine you can book your dream car, and you don't have to, like, put down hundreds of euros for a deposit.
Right.
That's pretty tempting, especially if you're trying to, like, get the most out of your travel budget.
It really is.
And it speaks to the level of, like, trust that PKA has in its customers. Like, they're basically saying, we trust you enjoy your trip, we'll handle everything else.
I like that.
Now, it's not just about the no deposit policy. They offer a bunch of extra perks that really sweeten the deal.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Free airport transfers if you rent for 7 days or more.
Oh.
No more hanging out, waiting in the taxi line, or trying to figure out the public transportation after a long flight.
Yeah, that's a huge plus.
And 204/7 support, just in case you run into any issues, along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, and this is huge for families, free car seats and booster seats.
Oh, wow.
So no more lugging that bulky equipment or, worrying about extra charges.
So it sounds like they've thought of everything to make renting a car as easy as possible.
It seems like it, right? Speaking of options, let's talk about their fleet. They've got a pretty impressive range from compact cars like that Suzuki Swift,
Okay.
which starts at just 35 euros a day, to those spacious 8-seater vans like the Nissan Serena for larger groups.
Yeah, having that kind of variety is really important. Caters to all kinds of travelers, whether you're, traveling by yourself or a couple on a romantic getaway or a family, exploring the island.
Yeah.
There's probably a vehicle that fits everyone's needs and their budget.
It seems like they go beyond just providing a car. They have this interesting Blue Lagoon service, although the website's a little vague on the details.
It makes you curious, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Like, it seems like they might have some way for you to experience the famous Blue Lagoon
Right.
by boat, maybe even discounted tickets. It's like they're giving you more than just a car rental.
Right. Adding to the whole adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to the less glamorous but very important topic of insurance.
Yeah.
I got to admit, this section on their website took a little bit of deciphering.
Yeah, it can be a little hard to understand, but let's break it down.
Yeah.
Essentially, their insurance covers most damage, but there are a few exceptions.
Right, like off-road driving in certain areas.
Yeah.
They specifically mention Akamaz Lara Bay and a few others. Makes sense, though. You don't want people taking a Suzuki Swift on some kind of rugged mountain adventure.
Right.
And there are a few things for younger drivers.
Okay.
Those under 25 with less than 3 years experience, they have like a maximum excess of 600 euro. So there are some things to be aware of. But overall, I think they offer pretty comprehensive coverage for responsible drivers, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I think they do a really good job of balancing protecting themselves
Yeah.
and giving their customers peace of mind.
So what about some feedback from actual customers? Has they lived up to all the hype?
Well, they have a whole section on their website dedicated to testimonials.
Yeah.
And a lot of them talk about how professional the service is, how clean the cars are, and helpful recommendations.
So that's a really good sign.
It suggests that PKA is actually doing what they say they're doing.
Right.
They're not just all talk. Real-world feedback like that from happy customers really adds to their credibility.
It does. It sounds like they're doing a lot of things right so far.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What else should we think about before we say PKA is like the ultimate solution
Yeah,
for stress-free car rentals in Cyprus?
that's a great point. Even though everything looks really positive so far, it's always smart to look a little deeper before you make a final decision.
So what kind of digging are we talking about? What are the next steps in our quest for a truly stress-free Cyprus adventure?
Okay, so I think for starters, we could look into, some of the potential risks and downsides of a no deposit policy, both for the company and the customer.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to look at it from both sides.
Yeah.
Because while a no deposit sounds amazing for the traveler, it could mean that, there are stricter terms and conditions or higher excess fees or even, pre-authorization holds on your credit card.
Right. And then from the company's perspective, they're taking on a bigger risk by not having that deposit up front. So I wonder how they kind of mitigate that risk.
Right.
Do they have stricter, screening processes for renters, or do they rely more on insurance? These are all things that would be good to look into.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of exploring, we need to get some more details about that mysterious Blue Lagoon service.
Right.
That website was pretty vague on the specifics.
It was, yeah.
Does PKA offer a whole boat tour package?
Right.
Do they give you discount codes for existing tours? Is transportation to the Blue Lagoon included? More information would really help potential customers know what they're getting.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like a treasure hunt, trying to piece it all together.
It does.
But that's part of the fun, I guess. Uncovering these little hidden gems and making sure we have all the facts before we make a decision.
Exactly. And while we're talking about uncovering things, reading full reviews from past customers can be really helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Because the website just has little snippets. So checking out, sites like TripAdvisor or Google reviews could give you a more balanced perspective.
Right, because those platforms have reviews from people who've actually rented specific cars, which could be super helpful.
Yeah.
Is the Suzuki Swift really as fuel efficient as they say it is? Or
Right.
how comfortable is that Nissan Serena for a long road trip with your family?
Exactly. Those are the kinds of things you want to know.
Real world experiences like that can really help you decide.
They can, and of course, it's always a good idea to compare prices with other rental companies in Cyprus. PKA might have these great perks.
Yeah.
But it's worth looking around and seeing if you can get a similar deal somewhere else.
Absolutely. Prices can change, depending on the time of year and how much demand there is. So, yeah, little comparison shopping never hurts.
Never hurts. And you know what else might be a good idea?
What?
Reaching out to PKA directly.
Oh, okay.
With any specific questions you have.
Yeah.
Because their website is informative.
Mm-hmm.
But, there might be some details that they don't say explicitly.
Yeah.
All the specifics about the Blue Lagoon offer.
Right, exactly. A quick phone call or email could really clear things up.
Right.
And, just make sure you're completely informed before you book.
And you get a chance to talk to their customer service team.
Yeah.
See how responsive and helpful they are.
That's a good point.
So, even though PKA seems like a really good option from our initial exploration, it's always smart to be a savvy traveler.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Right.
Make a decision that's good for you.
Yeah, an informed traveler is a happy traveler.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want for everyone listening. We want you to feel confident and excited about your trip to Cyprus, knowing that you've chosen the best option for you.
Exactly. And speaking of excitement, let's kind of shift gears here for a moment.
Okay.
And put ourselves in the shoes of someone who is planning a Cyprus trip.
Okay.
Imagine you land at Paphos Airport.
Okay.
And there's a PKA representative right there to greet you.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait in long lines. You don't have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. It's just like a smooth transfer to your waiting rental car.
Yeah.
And not just any car, the car that you chose.
Right.
The one that fits, your needs and your budget.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to put down a huge deposit.
That's a really nice thought.
And because you did your research, you know exactly what to expect.
Right.
There's no hidden fees, no surprises.
Yeah.
Just freedom to explore the island.
Exactly.
At your own pace, knowing that you're covered if anything happens. Imagine you're cruising down those sun-drenched roads.
Yeah.
The Mediterranean, is sparkling off in the distance.
Beautiful.
You can smell the citrus groves.
Oh, wow.
And you just have No worries.
Sounds like a dream.
It really does. It's like the
Right.
kind of stress-free travel experience we all dream of.
It is, and it is possible with a little planning,
Mm.
a little bit of research,
Yeah.
and a company like PKA that's really dedicated to making car rentals hassle-free.
Right.
You can make that dream a reality.
Now, let's not forget this whole deep dive
Yeah,
started from a recommendation from Lil Kanko Media.
that's right.
Clearly, they believe that PKA can actually do what it promises.
Mm.
And so far, we haven't really seen anything to say that they're wrong.
It's great to get different perspectives
Yeah.
and, do your own research.
Right.
But it's really encouraging that PKA has such a, strong advocate out there.
It does. It adds like another layer of trust to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, trust is what it's all about.
Hmm.
Trusting the company you're renting, from trusting the information you've gathered, and trusting yourself to make the right decision.
Exactly. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it really is your decision.
It is. We've explored PKA Car Rentals like from all these different angles.
Yeah.
We've weighed the pros and the cons. We even did a little daydreaming
We did.
about that perfect Cyprus road trip.
It was fun.
But now it's time for you, the listener, to take the wheel.
That's right.
So what really stood out to you from what we talked about today? Is it that no deposit policy,
Mm-hmm.
freeing up your budget so you can do other things?
Yeah.
Or is it that peace of mind that comes with having good insurance coverage?
Yeah.
So you can just relax and enjoy your trip.
Right.
Or maybe it's just that, they have so many different cars to choose from.
Yeah.
So you can find the perfect ride for your adventure.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking for, something fuel efficient, something spacious, or a little bit of luxury.
However it is.
Whatever it is, remember that knowledge is power.
Yes.
So take what we talked about today, do your own research,
Hmm.
ask the right questions,
Mm-hmm.
and then, make a decision that works for you.
Yeah. Make an informed decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if that decision leads you to PKA Car Rentals,
Yeah.
we have a feeling you're not going to be disappointed.
I think that's a safe bet.
Imagine you're driving along those beautiful coastal roads.
Yeah.
The Mediterranean is sparkling in the distance.
Ah.
You can smell those citrus groves,
Oh, yeah.
and you have zero worries.
That's the life.
That's the beauty of a well-planned trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about where you go, it's about how you get there.
Right.
And with a little help from companies like PKA,
Yeah.
who really try to make that journey as easy as possible.
Yeah.
You can just focus on what's important.
Exactly. Making memories.
Memories that will last a lifetime.
So there you have it. Our deep dive into PKA Car Rentals.
That's right.
Inspired by the recommendation from Lil Kango Media.
Mm-hmm.
We hope this has been helpful for you.
Yeah.
And given you all the information you need to make the best decision for your Cyprus adventure.
That's what we're here for.
Until next time, happy travels.
Happy travels.